Welcome to 6 Minutes to Financial Clarity. Our subject today is you and your credit score. A credit score is a number that summarizes your credit risk based on a snapshot of your credit report at a particular point in time. The range goes from 300 to 850, with 850 being the best and most creditworthy. Why does the credit score matter? Credit scores affect whether you can get credit and what you pay for credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, and other kinds of credit as to payments and interest rates. For most kinds of credit scores, higher scores mean you are more likely to be approved and to pay a lower interest rate on the new credit application. You want to rent an apartment? Without good scores, your apartment application may be turned down by the landlord. Your scores may also determine how big a deposit you'll have to pay for telephone, electricity, and other natural gas services. Here are some scoring factors in your credit score. Your payment history is about 35% of it. How much you presently owe, about 30%. The length of the credit history for a particular credit account, 15%. Any new credit you've received, 10%. Other factors, about 10%, having to do with the types of credit, whether it's a car loan, home loan, student loan, and so forth. So what's in your credit report? Well, your personal information, which is your name, addresses, social security, date of birth, and employment history. Your account information on your credit cards, car loans, mortgages, the date you opened them, the balance, the credit limit, and payment history. Any inquiries? That's people that are recently looking at your credit report because you've applied for credit for a particular situation. And also any negative items, like anything that was in collection, bankruptcy, or any foreclosures. What is not used to calculate your score? Your race, color, religion, national origin, sex, marital status, your age, your salary, your occupation, your title, your employer or employment history, where you live, and certain types of inquiries such as promotional, account review, or insurance. They're not used in the calculation. How accurate is your credit report? Based on a report by the U.S. Public Interest Group, 1 in 4 credit reports have errors. 25% contain errors serious enough to result in a denial of credit. 79% contain mistakes of some kind. 54% of the credit reports contain personal demographic information that was misspelled, long outdated, or belonged to a total stranger. And 30% of the reports contained credit accounts that had been closed by the consumer but were still listed as open. It's very important that you check your credit report often. By regularly checking your credit report from each of the credit reporting agencies, you can make sure it's accurate and includes only those activities you've authorized. If you suspect that your personal information has been hijacked or misappropriated to commit fraud or theft, take action immediately and keep a record of your conversations and correspondence. These 4 basic actions are appropriate in almost every case. First, contact the credit reporting agencies to place fraud alerts on your credit reports and to receive your credit reports. 2, close any accounts that have been tampered with or opened fraudulently. 3, file a report with your local police or the police in the community where the identity theft took place. And 4, file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. Let's talk about the top 5 credit misconceptions. The first one is that your score is going to drop if you check your credit. Fortunately, this one is definitely not true. Checking your own report and score is counted as a soft inquiry and doesn't harm your credit at all. Only hard inquiries from a lender or creditor made when you apply for credit can bring your credit score down by a few points. Number 2, closing old accounts will improve your credit score. To close or not to close, that's the question. Many people advocate closing old and inactive accounts as a way of improving the credit score. In most cases, closing accounts will actually have the opposite effect. Canceling old credit accounts can actually lower your credit score by making your credit history appear shorter. Think twice about closing the oldest account on your credit report. If you want to reduce your levels of available credit, ask for your credit limits to be lowered or close newer accounts instead. Number 3, once you pay off a negative record, it's going to be removed from your credit report. Negative records such as collection amounts, bankruptcies, and late payments will remain on it, not go off, for 7 to 10 years. Paying off the account before the end of the set term doesn't remove it from your credit report, but will cause the account to be marked as paid. Another credit misconception is being a co-signer doesn't make you responsible for the account. When you open a joint account or co-sign for a loan, you're taking on legal responsibility for the account. Any activity on those shared accounts, good and bad, will show up on both people's credit reports. And last, paying off a debt will add some 50 points to my credit score. Your credit score is calculated using a complex algorithm that takes into account hundreds of factors and values. For a person with a high credit score, just one late payment can cause a significant drop. There is no magic way to improve your credit score. Just keep paying your bills on time and reducing your debts and removing negative inaccuracies from your credit report. The 5 main steps to improving your credit score are: be punctual, avoid excessive inquiries, take a hands-on attitude about managing your debts, give yourself time to repair your credit, and check your credit report regularly. By federal law, you're allowed to receive a free credit report from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion every 12 months, federal law. Go to www.annualcreditreport.com and get yours. Thanks so much for your time, and hope you enjoyed this 6 minutes to financial clarity.